In this special two-part episode, I'm going to share with you my maximum energy building morning routine, plus give you a tour of my brand new co-working space, and I'm going to show you one of my marketing strategies that helps clients generate hundreds of thousands of dollars. Roll the intro. Thanks, Future Mitch. Here I am today. It's Saturday morning. Good morning, by the way. I thought I'd do things a little bit differently today, right? So I'm going to show you like the insides of my life. What happened? What do I do as a digital marketer? Now, it is Saturday, but I didn't work yesterday, so I do have a little bit of work to do today. But I just want to show you my morning routine as a digital marketer when I'm at my healthiest. So over the last few months, that's locked. That's a pain. Over the last few months, I've actually not been my healthiest at all. In fact, it's probably been the most unhealthy that I've been in a good 5 years. And I actually got sick for the first time in 5 years. So I'm really focusing on being my best self again and personal development. And that also includes some exercise. So what we're going to do this morning is some breathing exercises and some stretching. I find that opens up the body really well and keeps you healthy. So when you're breathing properly, when the chi is moving through your body, and you're eating fairly healthily, then it's actually fairly impossible to get sick. So I did this for many of years and I definitely proved it. So that's what I'm going to do this morning. Following on from that, look at this view. So it's not that cold, even though I've got my hood on today, but this is actually one of my favorite spots on a Saturday. A lot of the times I'll be at the beach a little bit further down, but on a Saturday that gets super packed. So I'm not there today, especially, there's more room here to do some exercises as well, which is super cool. So we're doing that. And then there's an epic farmer's market just across the river there that I'm going to go to. But then I'm going to head into the office and show you what a co-working space is like and give you a bit of a rundown on some digital marketing that I've been doing lately and how you may be able to actually do that yourself. If you haven't seen my last video, I talked about how I can actually easily make enough money in 2 months to cover an entire year of expenses living in the van. So I'm going to show you a little bit more in-depth stuff on that, and really, share what I know, because like I said last time, the more people who live this lifestyle, I just want more people to live this lifestyle and feel the way I feel. It's absolutely epic. So let's get some breathing happening. Actually from someone I learned from, Wim Hof. So I might link to him down below, but he's known as the Iceman, and he holds a lot of records for being out in cold weather for like 2 hours, not cold weather, but like literally minus degrees, freezing cold, sitting on top of an iceberg type weather for like 2 hours, just breathing with no clothes on and keeping his body temperature normal. And he talks about moving the energy through the body, and it keeps you happy, healthy and strong. And there's also been tests of him where they've injected him with a virus, and he can use the breath to get rid of that virus within 15 minutes. So it's super powerful stuff. It also helps me stretch a lot more. So you do the breathing techniques and then you stretch out for a period afterwards, and that's pretty helpful as well. So definitely check him out. Anyway, follow along if you're at home. So all we're doing there really is taking a deep breath in, and then on the out breath is you just let it go, and you don't want to force it out at all. You just let the breath out, and that builds up all the energy inside your body, and you start to feel like tingly and feel like a whole lot of energy starting to swell around your body, and sometimes your face will be tingly and all of that type of stuff, and that means it's really starting to flow. So you do that for about 30 times, and then on the 30th breath, take a deep breath in, let all of the air out of your lungs this time, and then just sit there and just really calmly and quietly and allow your body to relax. And generally you can sit there for anywhere between 60 seconds up to, I've done up to 3 minutes when my body is like really at its best. I haven't done that for the last week since I've been doing this again, but yeah, I've been able to do that. And then once you're sort of ready to take in a breath again, you take in a really deep breath and you just hold that breath inside the body for about 20 to 30 seconds. And then you just repeat it over and over again. So normally I'll do 3 or 4 rounds and then start to stretch. I also do some push-ups and some ab exercises, which you start doing on that in-breath. And what you'll notice if you do push-ups before doing this and then after doing this, you should be able to do almost twice as many as what you normally would. So yeah, it's really cool. So I'm going to continue on. So that's 3 rounds. I'll continue to breathe deeply now as well, but I'm going to do some stretching. The worst part for me is stretching my legs, and I actually trained legs in the gym a few days ago for the first time in like a month. So I can barely reach right now down my legs, but that's part of it, right? You got to accept where you are and not be disheartened. I've always probably been a bit hard on myself and not being able to reach my toes unless I stretch quite often. But you just got to be, self-accepting and just be where you are and do what you can on the day. Even if you can't reach, a little bit of stretching is better than nothing. So I'll do that now. And I'll just continue to breathe deep. The other thing with the stretching is after you've done this and your body's circulating blood so easily and so freely, when you're stretching, you take a deep breath in and focus on the bit that's really tight and hold that breath for about 5 seconds. And then when you release, it's supposed to shoot blood through that part of the body, through all the vessels there, and then you should be able to reach a little bit further. So that's why I actually enjoy this more than yoga. I feel better after this than I do yoga, so that's why I'm prioritizing this at the moment. So that's the stretching routine done. Stretching and breathing probably takes about 15-20 minutes, I guess. Not too long, definitely enough time for anybody to do it during the day. And then follow it up with now a little bit of mindfulness and focusing on strengthening my PC muscles. So the PC muscles are between that very bottom bit between, for guys, I guess the penis and the anus. But that's super important for sexual health, which is something that I'm just really learning now. And it's also a really great way to start channeling energy. I'm going to talk about this another time because it's absolutely blowing my mind what's happening for me as I'm reading this particular book. But yeah, that for another time. Then also we'll go ahead and do another set of exercises, which is called the 5 Tibetan rites. So that really opens up the body. I believe it opens up the endocrine system. And then generally I'll do a headstand for 30 seconds after that, which looks fancy, but it's actually a lot easier than it looks. So we'll continue on with that. Almost there. For those of you laughing at me at how much I can't move my body anymore, don't be so hard. Like I said, this is what happens if you sit at a computer desk for years on end, doing nothing but lifting weights in the gym and doing the occasional stretch here and there. But your body is super important. For your mind to be working the best, you need to be circulating blood throughout your body. And so many people are talking about that the mind is the body is the mind. And I've noticed in other I guess let's just say for now deep meditations that I've done is that I store a lot of energy in my body. Sorry for the shakiness here. I'm a little bit shaky after all of that. But let me try and put this down. But I store a lot of energy in my body, and I'm trying to fix that a little bit. So basically what I'm going to try and show you now is, I posted this on my Instagram the other day. If you're not following me yet, then do that now, Mitch.Asser. And it's just a basic headstand. Now, it looks hard, but it actually isn't. And I just wanted to hopefully give you some steps, if you can see, so that you can follow along from home and try doing it as well. So just getting some blood into the brain is super powerful, and oxygenating that brain, super powerful, especially if you want to be like a digital nomad, a digital marketer, someone who needs that brain power and that creativity. And yeah, it's just really good for doing that. But yeah, that's basically my morning routine, and there's a bit of plane going over the head, so hopefully you can still hear. It should hopefully be a cool background as well. But yeah, I generally do the stretching and the breathing pretty much every day. Maybe there's one day a week I won't do it, and then the 5 Tibetan rites, and that's probably 3 to 4 times a week at the moment. And I've only just started doing this again. When I was at my healthiest and at my best, I was doing this every single morning, and it's so important. The newest thing that I'm adding in now, which is completely blowing my mind, even though I'm only a week in, is the sexual energy stuff. So when I talked about, clamping the PC muscles and really strengthening that part, but then also taking that sexual energy that you do have and transmitting it or transmuting it throughout the rest of the body up to the brain through the organs. That's really blowing my mind. And I'm definitely going to make a video on that once I get through my first 30 days. I want to share those experiences because, first of all, I know what the headline is going to be, and it's going to be it's just going to crack me up. It's going to be amazing. But secondly, it's one of the most powerful things that I've ever come across, probably more so than this breathing now as well. And the amount of energy that I have at the moment is really digging me out of a place where I was burnt out for the last few months, and I'm really struggling to get good again, but it's bringing me back super quick. So I'm going to share that with you as well at some point, and it's going to be pretty funny. So
I got a feeling it's the moment my life's gonna start. I got the feeling when the windows roll down in the car. I got the feeling if I wanna fly, I know that I could. I got a feeling, it's all feeling good.
So I'm back in from the farmer's market. Got my stuff down here. This is what we've got. So some celery, some salad mix, avocados, an absolute essential in any person's life, coconut yogurt, and tomatoes, onions, and a bit of broccoli, and also a bit of avocado oil. That's pretty exciting. It's not very common to find avocado oil that's super fresh, but basically what I'm doing at the moment is trying to keep as high protein, minimal carbs as possible. I had a friend do the vegan keto diet. Not a fan of a normal keto diet. There's so many studies around eating high levels of meat that is going to really increase your risk of heart disease, cancer, and diabetes by 300% or more. So definitely not a fan of the normal keto diet. It's basically just a glorified Atkins diet. But big fan of experimenting with something new in a healthy way. And had a friend do the vegan keto diet for 4 months. He put on 12 kilos of muscle. He was training super hard at the same time, which definitely helps. But yeah, I'm going to try and stick to that as much as possible. I don't know if I can do it because I'm still working a fair bit, and rather than cooking at night, I prefer to just buy something on the way home from decent places. And I don't think the places I go to are going to be able to serve up what I need. They might. So I'll have to suss that out a little bit, but I don't think they will. So yeah, I'm going to pack these into the fridge and then we'll continue on the road. But I just wanted to talk about, this vlog is really talked a lot about energy so far. And at our core, that's like where we come from, right? We come from this little speck of energy, this tiny little speck that grows and grows and grows into who we are today. So when people, first of all, think about energy, they think they need to work out to get more energy. But the thing with working out is you're expending energy in the body, and for most of us, we live in a highly stressful world, from the work that we do to the demands that we have on ourselves and our bodies and our minds every single day, so that working out is sometimes not the best option. That's why if you want to be someone who's a high performer, you need to think about more about working in rather than working out, or there really needs to be balance, right? As with everything in life, there needs to be balance. So that's why I did all of those exercises this morning, because they're building the energy and cultivating the energy inside of me so that I have more to give throughout the rest of my day. Now, that's not to say that I don't work out. So I definitely work out 3 to 4 days a week as well. But I only work out when I feel like I have more energy to give, rather than, expending that energy. And that's why there's so many. I used to be a personal trainer, right? So I saw this all the time. But maybe you're one of them. You could be the type of person who works out all the time, eats pretty healthily, but for some reason you don't get any results, or you at least get initial results in the first few weeks and then start to plateau pretty quickly. Whereas there's people around you who are doing the same things and losing weight and have a better body than what you do. It's typically because your stress is probably much higher and a lot more elevated than the people around you. So when your body has high levels of stress, it produces cortisol in the body. When you have cortisol in the body, then your body can't, first of all, can't build muscle and it can't lose weight, among a whole host of other things as well. So working in and cultivating an energy through breathing, through stretching, through yoga, through meditation, through all of those types of things definitely helps that process, right? So I try and focus a lot on that because I have a lot of output mentally throughout the day, through the marketing that I do, and then through working out a few times a week as well. So I just wanted to touch on that because I think it's an important point to note, and that's why I do those exercises every morning. And yeah, if it makes sense, do so as well for you.
This heart won't ever stop. No, don't ever stop. The sun will show the way. I know the road to take.
So that's almost all of my morning routine. The only other thing that I do typically is prioritize a little bit of learning in the morning. So there's a few things that I'm focusing on right now, and it's I'm really trying to separate work and personal development, because I used to bring it all into one. There was a period there where if it wasn't about marketing or business, then I didn't really want to learn it. And I mean that worked for me then because it helped me build a business and become a great marketer, but I also want to continue to evolve personally, both mentally, emotionally, and spiritually as well. So I try and prioritize that now before I dive into some work later in the day. So typically what that looks like, and I know it's a little bit wishy-washy when you first hear it, but trust me on this, the most powerful learnings personally, as in personal development learnings that I've ever experienced, is the law of attraction. And most specifically by Esther Hicks or Abraham Hicks. You can look into the background of why I said Esther and Abraham there. But when I first come across the law of attraction, it was through the book The Secret, which was like a global phenomenon, right? So there's a lot in that book that is very mainstream and is incomplete. But if you dive into the proper law of attraction, with Esther Hicks, then you'll start to really understand what I mean by that. Yeah, so I mean, what I try and do is 15 minutes of that of a morning. There's thousands of YouTube videos that you could watch that are about 15 minutes long, so it's perfect timing. And I'll dive into the law of attraction. I guess let me touch on it now. I've been studying it for 5 years now, and I wholeheartedly believe that every single part of my life is working out perfectly for me, which is pretty incredible, right? Because that relieves a lot of anxiety, it relieves a lot of stress, it relieves a lot of fear, essentially, if you know that no matter what is happening, is working out perfectly for you in your life. Now, it doesn't mean that I don't go through bad times, right? Because I did for the last couple of months, but that was due to how I was perceiving life and putting myself under too much stress. Plus, definitely other external influences as well, where people put too much on you. But that was the hardest time that I've had in about 4 years. That was really the only hard time I've had in the last 4 years, which is pretty incredible for most people, right? But even though I was going through that hard time, I was already reframing it as I was excited for this, because if I think back to the biggest changes that happened in my life and the most defining moments that catapulted me into becoming a better person, to having better experiences, it was after a really hard, challenging time. So while I was going through this hard time for the last couple of months, I was actually excited for what's on the other side. And, I can already say that I've definitely come out the other side and things are looking up, and there could be, some really big things on the horizon next year, just based on sort of where I'm setting myself up to be right now, which is super exciting, right? So it's really cool. The other things that I'm learning right now is I'm diving into the teachings of the Tao. That's really just really connecting in with that spiritual journey that the Taoist people talked about, specifically around the sexual energy, which I've already mentioned, and then diving into other things around masculinity and really understanding that journey and how can I become a better man, essentially. And that's really what fuels me, is like, how can I become a better man, a better person, someone who's going to provide for my future family in the best way possible, while still being connected to myself and connected to others around me. And yeah, so that's the journey that I'm on. And if it's what fulfills me, sure, you know, I've got to make sacrifices sometimes to do that, rather than playing video games, or do that rather than going out with friends drinking, or do that and you know, filling blank here, whatever other normal people do. But it's what fulfills me, and I feel like that's my mission in life, is to continue to evolve and continue to share that mission out with others. So yeah, that's the only other thing that I do on a typical morning routine, followed by my medicinal hot chocolate, which is just filled with amazingness of cacao powder and medicinal mushrooms and cinnamon and a few other things in there, which I'll dive into on another video. But this cup of like magic is incredible way to start the day. Fills your body with antioxidants, and you know, the medicinal mushrooms just really supercharge your constitution and make you a stronger, more healthier person. So that's pretty much the morning routine. And if you do have any questions on that, I'd love to hear from you. So a lot of people ask me, is like, Mitch, what is digital marketing? What do you even do? As you can see right now, my life is pretty interesting. I know a little about a lot, but my life is, I'm just dedicated to growth, personal growth, professional growth, and I'm on a mission. I feel like I'm on this mission. It's a calling. It's not something that I'm not driven. It's a calling for me to actually do these things.